We'll start chanting Om followed by the invocation shlokas. Om. 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 Sahana vavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sah Viryam Karavavahai. तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. As we are studying Kathopanishad, let us begin with chanting the very first opening prayer for both Yamadharmaraja and Nachiketa. So one of you unmute yourself and repeat after me. Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vaivasvataya
Vaivasvataya
Mrityave
Mrityuve
Brahma Vidyacharyaya
Brahma Vidyacharyaya cha
Brahma Vidyacharyaya
Brahma Vidyacharyaya
Nachiketase
Nachaketase
cha.
cha Nachaketase cha.
We are studying the second chapter, okay, of the Dvitiya Valli of
Deeply.
the Pradhama Adhyaya. Now here the topic is Shreyas and Preyas. We have seen what is Shreyas and what is Preyas. Now Bhagwan Yamadharmaraja is, after describing what is Shreyas and Preyas, he talked about the difficulty of following Shreyas, the path of Shreyas. Why? But majority of us, what happens is that we have a Manda Buddhi. So he categorized into two Buddhis. Dhira, he called as Dhira and Manda. Dhira and Manda both are based upon the intellect. Dhi, when our Dhi is intellect is strong, then it is Dhira. When Dhi is weak, it is Manda. Now, sometimes in our secular life, we see that some people are extremely smart, but they are bad people. Okay. So, are they Dhiras or Mandas? From spirituality perspective, they are Manda. Because the ultimate knowledge is that Brahman alone is real. If I don't have the capacity to understand that, I don't experience the presence of Brahman everywhere. If I'm not interested in gaining that knowledge, how can I be Dhira? No. No, it is not just like I want to get that knowledge, but like this knowledge is something that I must abide in. Only when I can abide in that, that is when I become Dhira. Otherwise, I am Manda. Now, why am I Manda? Many of us are Mandas, okay? More Mandas than Dhiras, with overwhelming majority of us, is because our Indriyas did shift our attention to Priyan and Priyarupanscha, the things that we love and the personification of those loving things. We love something that is sweet, that is Priyan. And what are those Priyan Rupa and what is the personification of those sweets? When you go to the sweet store, you see rows of sweets of different varieties, all of them filled with maybe ghee or dalda, I don't know, but ghee, sugar, and everything, and all of them calling us, come, come, enjoy us. So, in this way, this world also has so many things that we love, and they all tantalize us and mesmerize us with their presence. Because of that, when my Dhi is running behind my Indriyas and hence want to attain them, then I become Manda. And when that Manda comes, what happens? I want the things that I don't have, or I want to protect the things that I love. Therefore, the concept of yoga and kshema comes. So, this is how this challenge is. Now, if I want to eventually, if in a half-baked manner, I want to get something better out of my life, majority of time, see, in our like like in our childhood, our parents would tell us, "What have you ever looked at yourself? What do you are going to do?" Things like that, especially like if you don't have job or if you're not studying, etc. Then what happens? That means what? We must improve ourselves. When we want to improve ourselves, what are the areas that we are asked to improve ourselves in? Not in a spiritual path, okay, but more in terms of improve your education, improve the knowledge of your math, improve the knowledge in physics or your financial acumen. These are the things that they're asking us to improve. Or like whether they tell us or not, these are the things that we were interested in improving. And if you go to, I mean, like Barnes and Noble, I have closed pretty much 90% of their stores, but no matter if you go to any Barnes and Noble and if you go into self-help books, 90% of the books are to help you get better at finances or maximize your time management, and those kind of things. So there, avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira panditam manyamanaha tam drumyamanaha pariyanti moodha andhenaiva niyamana yadhantaha. This is the fifth mantra. So there, what happens is that when the inkling of self-improvement we want to get, okay, we go try to improve ourselves in this laukika or the vyavaharika or transactional world itself. When we do that, then there are so many experts in all of those fields. They'll say, come, come, we will teach you. We are experts, come. And then what happens is that we are still in that mm, Preyo Marga, a Manda, following like Anthe Naiva Niyamana Yadhantaha, like one blind fellow following another blind person. In the same way, we are following something within the realm of this transactional world, which is Mithya. So, Now, what is the problem with that? That was explained in mantra number 6, where Raja says, Nasamparaya pratibhati bhalam pramadyantam vittamohena mudham ayam loko nasti paramiti mani punah punarvashamapadyate me. What happens is, with that low intellect, when we are interested in objects of this world and how to attain those objects of this world, what happens? Our focus is in terms of earning and earning money, and with that money that we earned, earning those vishayas. Then, other than this, there is nothing else. This is a thought. The, the fundamental Charvaka philosophy. There's nothing beyond this world. There's nothing beyond this body. They say, Grunam Pitva, no, Runam Krutva, Grunam Pibet. So that is, you don't have money, take a loan and have, get Grunam. Grunam is ghee. Okay, meaning like, have tasty food. And one day this body is going to burn off. Bhasmi Patalam. When that happens, everything is done. Who cares at that time? This is what the thought process of Charvaka. But our Vedanta says life is not beginning. At birth, life is not ending. At the time of death, it is just that a jiva is moving from one sthula sharira to another sthula sharira. So then what is happening to such jiva? Who is the narrator of this mantra is Yamadharmaraja. So he says, Punar Punar Vashama Padyate me. They get caught in they get caught into my hands again and again. That means that we go from one death to another death. This is the problem with following the Preyo Marga. Okay. So in that case, I want to study Vedanta. So now that you're telling me Vedanta is so good, great. Okay. So I want to learn. But then Upanishad says, Shravanayapi bahubhiryo na labhyah shrunvantopi bahavo yam na vidyuh ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha ascharyo jnata kushalanushishtha. This is the mantra that we have seen in last session, where this knowledge, first of all, nobody gets to hear. In case if they got to hear this, they can't make out anything out of it. No, that even in Achinma mission, study groups, etc., they'll finish. I should say we, okay, yeah, including me. We finish one Gita chapter after other Gita chapter, other Gita chapter, other Gita chapter. Then one day, Swami Shantananda ji or Swami Ishwarananda ji, Swami Prakashananda ji, one of Swamis come. And there'll be Q&A session. What will we ask? What is the purpose of this Gita? Why are we having, how do I improve my life, Swamiji? This is as simple as that. Aren't you attending Gita classes? Yes, I'm attending Gita classes, but that is different. I want to improve my life. But Gita is telling you how to improve your life. No, that is all abstract. I want something practical. Okay, so that what we are doing is that we compartmentalize what we listen to and learn in our Vedanta class and think that our life is different from the Vedanta class. We don't try to integrate it at all. So this is another challenge. And even when you want to integrate, how do you want to integrate? Okay, how can you integrate? Is it what is the right method of integrating? That also we don't know. Okay. In such case, because see what happens is this is all our secular knowledge is based on parts. Khanda. Khanda is parts. All our secular knowledge is based on our parts. Means what? Take physics. Physics is a part of the knowledge. Physics is not chemistry. Physics is not biology. Physics is not zoology. Physics is not history. Physics is not arts. So it is just a part. Like that, everything has got a scope. Okay. This, whatever the knowledge that we are learning is within the scope of this realm, this domain, this, like that, everything is part. Khanda, 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 khanda. So, and then whether we are learning the secular knowledge or in our day-to-day transactions also, this belongs to me, this doesn't belong to me. Khanda, khanda. Okay? This part is mine, this part is not mine. When we are transacting, what 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 should I give to get what I want? I'm giving part of what I have, which itself is a part of a bigger thing. And then I'm going to get a part of what other person has, which itself is a part of a bigger thing. So all our transactions are based upon parts. Okay? So all of this is part, 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 part. And then what is the understanding of our own nature? We are this body, meaning part. Okay, so this is how we are looking at everything as parts, 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 parts. Okay, not spare parts like a car parts or something, but okay, parts. This knowledge, on the other hand, is akhanda, infinite, which cannot be divided, which cannot be broken into. So that shift from part-based knowledge to learning that knowledge which is indivisible, akhanda knowledge is very different. That anything and everything that we learned in our schools, in our colleges, etc., none of them are useful in here. So that is why the teacher who teaches is a wonder. And if a student can actually get what the teacher says, that is another wonder. Well, you see, in case of Nachiketa, what is the quality of the student has been shown in great length. How he stood for, first of all, the Shreyas, right? How he stood for his words, for which he was okay to give up his body and go to Yama. And when he went there, again, Yamadharmaraja tried to tempt him with so many things, but he stood fast to learn this knowledge. So that is the level of vairagya that is required by the student. And then now in, in the next mantra, what we are going to see is, so we have covered so far we have covered up to this point. In the next mantra, what we are going to see is what what are the challenges in teaching this and who can give this knowledge. Okay, what are the so far we have seen the qualifications of, in another words, to think about, another way to look at is, we have seen the qualities of the student. Now in this mantra it is going, Yamadharmaraja is going to shift his attention to the qualities of the teacher. Okay, so we'll break down the words. Okay, this is the uh, uh, which mantra is this? This is 6 of 8. Okay, this is the mantra number 8. Okay. So I'll break down the padacheda we'll do, and then we'll study. Na narena varena. So that is actually, it has got two words in there. Narena and avarena. Together, narena varena. Prokta yesha suvigneyaha. Okay, yeshaha and suvigneyaha. So, and that suvigneyaha itself will become suvigneyo because of a sandhi. Bahudha chintyamanaha. Ananya prokte. Okay. So, ananya and prokta together. Ananya prokte gatiratra. That has got two words. Gatihi and atra. Together becomes gatiratra. Nasti. Na asti. Nasti. Aniyan. Hya. Hya. Hyatarkya manu pramanat. Hyatarkya manu pramanat. So, he and atarkya. He and atarkya becomes hyatarkya. Huh? And anu. When you add anu, hyatarkya manu pramanat. So, hyatarkya manu pramanat. That's a little bit a tongue twister, but that's all. Okay. So, one of you, please unmute yourself and repeat after me. Na
Na
narena varena
narenavareణ
prokta
ప్రోక్త
esha
ఏష
suvigneyo
సువిజ్ఞేయో
bahudha
బహుధా
chintyamanaha
చింత్యమానః
ananya prokte
అనన్యప్రోక్తే
gatiratra
గతిరత్ర
nasti
నాస్తి
aniyan
అనియాన్
hyatarkya manu pramanat.
యతర్క్య మను ప్రమాణాత్.
Okay. So here the simple meaning is that this knowledge is so subtle that it has to be taught by a teacher who has realized. Okay. If it is taught by an inferior person means who is not realized, right? Then this knowledge cannot be properly known, right? Because this knowledge is subtler than the subtlest of things, right? And it is atarkyam. Atarkyam means it is beyond tarka. Tarka means logic. It cannot be, so that means what? It cannot be merely reached by logic. Okay? Anything in this world can be reached by, understood by logic, but this knowledge cannot be understood with logic alone. So now let us look at, so this is the meaning of the mantra, right? So why is that? Okay, so that's something that we are going to look at. So now Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Kasmat. What is the Kasmat? Why is that? Why is that means what? The previous mantra said, Shravanayapi bahudbhiyo na labhyah shrunvantopi bahomyam vidyuh ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha ascharyo gnada kushalanuhishtah. When that is said, okay, why is that said? Okay, so here saying that why is that this mantra is linking to the previous mantra in terms of the relationship. What's the relation between that and this? This mantra is an explanation or expansion of a topic that has been said in the previous mantra. Okay? So he says, Nahi narena manushena avarena proktaha avarena hinena prakruta buddhi netya tat. Okay? Because see, what happens is that, see, when this is taught by someone, manushena avarena, okay, it is taught by inferior person, meaning a lesser person of, okay, who has got like, like a prakruta buddhi. Prakruta buddhi means knowledge of prakriti, meaning like the buddhi is managed by prakriti, meaning, okay, so that then what happens is ukta yesha atma yam tvam mam pruchasi. So then when when a student asks such a person, or when such a person is speaking, meaning like a unrealized man is speaking, nahi sushtu samyak vigneya vignatam shakyah. It cannot be properly or thoroughly known or understood. Okay. We'll see uh, couple more lines and then we'll go into deeper discussion. Yasmat बहुधा अस्ति नास्ति कर्ता कर्ता शुद्धो अशुद्ध इत्यादि अनेकथा चिन्त्यमानः वादिभिः. See, what happens is, when it comes to Atma, none of us have seen Atma. Atma cannot be seen. Atma cannot be experienced. Now, some schools of thoughts say that it exists. Okay? Asti. Asti means it exists. Some schools of thought say Nasti, like Shunyavada. Meaning Shunyavada means Buddhism. Says there's nothing. Sarvam Shunyam. Now, let us say it exists. I know like Vedanta says it exists, so let us dump the Shunyavada for a moment because our focus is Vedanta. Is the Atma Karta or Akarta? Because we say, sometimes we say, I'm not the doer. So that is, I'm Akarta. Sometimes Bhagwan is doing everything, we say. Then that means that Bhagwan must be Karta. Then Bhagwan is Karta then. And if I am Brahman, then Brahman is Karta and I am Akarta? I don't know. Okay. Then we say Shuddha Atma. Atma is Shuddha, pure. But we also say this person is impure. So when we say Shuddha or Ashuddha, in this way, a lot of questions are there. Now, when those kind of questions are there, Katham Punah Suvijnaya, then how can this all be known? Okay, so this is part of the bhashyam. So let us take a look at something a little bit more details into what we heard about what is this prakruta buddhi, etc. Right? Because it said narena manushena avarena proktaha. So this vara, okay, this word vara has to be understood. Okay. Now, the first thing is that now Tattvajnana, in the previous mantra, it is said, Shrunvantopi bahuvoha yamna vidyuhu. Just because listening, you cannot understand it. Why? The thing is that I personally heard Tattvamasi Mahavakya so many times. I also heard, and I also understand the meaning of it. It is not like, oh, I heard Tattvamasi Mahavakya, but I don't know what it means. No, I understand the meaning. And yet, I'm unable to experience it. So why? Because there is some impurity in me. If there is impurity in me, the question is that impurity in me, is that impurity in me is holding me back, or what is holding me back? So then this vara naravarena, right? Now when that word has come, nara, narena, avarena, we said, right? Nara means person, and avara. Now what is this avara? Avarena means, like we said, like is an inferior person. What is it? Vara or avara means? You probably heard the term Swayamvara, Vadhuvara. Okay. Swayamvara means what? A girl. If a man is looking for a suitable girl, it is not called Swayamvara. Okay. Only when a girl is looking for appropriate boy, then it is called Swayamvara. Okay. And she herself is choosing. So that means Swayam Vara. Vara means chooseworthy. Okay. Varena. Varena means worthy enough. Okay. So Vara means worthy. Then Avara means not worthy. So now that means this teacher must be worthy. So now, if as a student, okay, and this knowledge is, as I said, is very subtle. Now, Vedanta says Sukha and Dukkha are same. Now, if person listens and says, okay, if Sukha and Dukkha are identical, I might as well remain miserable. What's the big deal? So then that knowledge did not is not properly understood by that individual. Okay? Now, if he thinks, okay, oh, if you think that another way to look at it is that if we think that Papa or Punya are equal, okay, okay, if Papa or Punya are equal, then I commit Papa. Jnana cannot be given to such person. Okay, then you said Papa is and Punya are equal, so why can't you give the Jnana to Papi? Okay? So why the Sadachara is required? So the thing is that this knowledge is so powerful that when we don't understand that Papa or Punya are equal, in terms of both Papa and Punya, they both make us live more and more. Both of them are going to bind us in samsara more and more. In that way, they both are equal. But performing by punya karmas, if I am able to, along performing with punya karmas, with karma yoga buddhi, if I am able to remove all the dirt in my mind and get my antakarana shuddhi, then it is better. Okay, so then that means that I can get rid of those and then I become pure. This is the proper understanding must be there. Otherwise, the teacher has to have proper ability to teach in the right manner. Right? Now, where else we see the term vara? In Gayatri Mantra. How does it come? Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tatsavitur Varenyam that Varenyam is Vara. Okay. So that means what? Who is that supreme Varenya? That is Bhurbhuvasuvaha Tat Savituhu Varenyam. Savita means yes, Sun Bhagwan is Varenyam. That is, he is the divine Bharga of Bhagwan. And that Lord on whom we meditate upon. And why? Because in our scriptures, Surya Bhagwan is a great realized master. And in fact, in the Yajurveda, which is one of the bigger Vedas, there's the Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. So it is said when Yajnavalkya was asked to forget everything that he has learned because of a mistake he committed, he gave away all the knowledge and then he meditated upon sun, and whatever sun Surya Bhagwan has imparted, that became Shukla Yajurveda. Okay, so in our in our Vedas, just like Yamadharmaraja now is a great teacher, in the same way, Surya Bhagwan is also great teacher. Okay, and we are meditating on him. So he is Varenyam. Okay, and when the knowledge comes from such Varenyam, then that Vidya is going to destroy Ajnana. Okay, now see, like if you look at somebody like me, okay, and what happens? Sitting here, I talk about everything that is told to me by my teachers and say that this is Brahmajnana. Now the session is over. Then what happens? Then I turn to my friend next to me or my family next to me and says, this person is creating me so much problem. How should I deal with this person? Okay? What should I do so that I can get out of the issues that I'm having? So then what happened? The one who is talking here during this period, if I myself am caught up in this papa, punya, raga, dvesha, sukha, dukkha, shubha, shubha, okay, then what can I speak about Brahmajnana? I can say, oh, what can I do? You and we are both merely going through the fruits of our prarabdha karma. Then also we are not true knowers. Why? For a Brahmajnani, there is no prarabdha. Only for Ajnanis there is prarabdha. Life before, current life, future life, all of that. Okay? So, in such case, see what happened. But didn't we talk about this prarabdha karma, agami karma, all of those are different type of karma phala, sanchita karma and all of that? Yes. So, what is wrong in thinking about it? They all exist in the realm of transactional world, vyavaharika prapancha. The Brahmajnana is going to wipe out the slate and says that there is no prapancha, there is no samsara, there is no you. All that is Brahman alone. Now, when this kind of a thing is to be taught, okay, if by an Ajnani, what is the challenge? The word that one of the words that was used in commentary was Prakruta Buddhi. Right? Uh, uh, the- Nahi nareణ మనుష్యేణ అవరేణ ప్రోక్త అవరేణ హీనేన ప్రాకృత బుద్ధి తత్. Okay? So what is this prakruta buddhi? Okay? What happens is that my intellect is stuck in the modifications of this prakriti vikaras. What is there? What are the kind of prakriti vikaras are there? I'm tied up with my dehabhimana. I'm tied up with my indriyabhimana, abhimana with my buddhi, abhimana with my prana, manas. Okay, I I see my waking state as different from sleeping state, different from dreaming state. Okay, like this. I'm thinking that okay, this is mine, this is me, this is not me. All of these things is right. This is all prakrita buddhi. So when this Prakruta Buddhi is there, when I myself have my likes and dislikes, in what way can I tell you what is beyond everything? Okay? Now, then what is the point? Okay? So if I don't know anything in terms of Brahmajnana, what am I doing here? Why am I holding this session? And why are you here? That's the question you should have. You may be very courteous, polite people. That's why you haven't interrupted me yet and asked, why are you wasting our time, Venkat? Okay? So, when we were studying Vedanta under our teacher, Pujya Swami Advainandaji, at the end of the course, he gave us instructions. These instructions are same for all the students. What are that? We must perform as a student of Vedanta. We must perform 3 S's, he called. 3 S's. Sadhana, Swadhyaya, Seva. That we had to try to live with the knowledge imbibed in Vedanta as much as we can. Why am I saying as much as I can? Because Prakruta Buddhi is there, right? Because of the Prakruta Buddhi, Vasana sometimes overpower us. But okay, do that and do daily sadhana. Swadhyaya. We have to study what we have learned faithfully and do seva. Seva means karma yoga and do contribute whatever we can to the society. These are the 3 things that we are all asked to do. So these sessions that I'm conducting is part of my swadhyaya. Not your adhyayana. No, not for you. Okay, I am conducting all of these for my sake. Why? Because all of the material that I am presenting in these sessions are given to me by my Guru because of his grace, and which in turn is given to him by his Guru, Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji. So, In this way, the Guru Parampara, the lineage of Guru Parampara, whatever I have learned, I am sharing with you. Why am I sharing? Because even though I am Vakta here, I am the Prathama Shrota. I am the first person who is listening what I am saying before the voice comes to you. Why? Because, of course, Zoom is a factor. Okay, it takes about a few milliseconds for it to transfer and all of that. But I'm the first listener. Before the word is complete, I heard what I'm saying. So that becomes my Swa Adhyayana, study of the scriptures. And by doing this, what am I trying to get is try to do two things. Hold on to the feet of scriptures and do Adhyayana of what my teacher taught. That is what I'm doing. That is the purpose of this entire session. Nothing beyond that. Okay? Now, coming back. This knowledge, what happens is that this knowledge has got multiple layers. Okay? What are the multiple layers? For example, in Taittiriya Upanishad, the second Valli, Brahmananda Valli, yes. Okay? Brahmananda Valli starts saying that you are this body. You are this body? Yes, you are this body. Why? If someone is smoking or they want to earn so much money that they don't take care of their body. Okay, good reason or bad reason? They're neglecting their body completely and they're doing something. Okay, so as long as you have body, you can work. The moment the body cannot work or it dies, nothing is going to happen. So take care of your body. So that is the first step forward to forget about everything outside world and bring closer attention to your body. Okay. I brought attention to my body now. And I want to ensure that the body is properly taken care of. Not indulgence, but properly taken care of. Then it starts going subtler and subtler. You are not this body, but you are your pranas. As long as there are pranas in your body, you are there. The moment pranas leave your body, you are not there. So, pranas. Then go subtler. Only when your mind is there, prana is there or not matters. If your mind is not there, prana has no value. Then your mind, if it is proper intellect is there, then only your mind and an intellect which can control your mind, that is there, then it is meaningful. Then all of that is being controlled by your Karana Sharira, Anandamaya Kosha. But that Anandamaya Kosha is unfortunately full of Ajnana Janito. And that Anandamaya Kosha, the Ajnana in Anandamaya Kosha has to be removed. That Ajnana removal will help you identify your true self. So what happened is that at every level, so there is a level of subtlety, more and more subtlety is coming. So, even though as a speaker, I'm not there to bring you over to Brahmajnana because I myself am not. Okay? But together we can start walking towards this spiritual journey towards within us. Okay? So then this knowledge, okay? And then here, so now let us go to the second portion of this so Shankara Bhashya. Okay? Here, Shankaracharya says, Ananya Prokte, Ananyena, Aphutak Darshinacharyena, Pratipadya Brahmatma Bhutena, Prokte Ukte, Atmani Gatihi. That means, Ananya. Anya means different. Ananya means not different. Not different means what? Not different from Brahman. Means he became Brahman already. Became Brahman already means what? It is not like uh, he was milk became curd kind of a thing. No, because milk was there, it was heated, and then some little bit of a knowledge, curd is put in there, and then we let it, okay, uh, stay. So in the same way, we put some knowledge in there, and then, okay, you purified yourself by doing something, and we put some knowledge and let that knowledge sink in. Now you become Brahman. See, you are no more Jiva, but you are Brahman. No, they're not that way. Okay, you are Brahman already. We don't know that you are Brahman, but now you realize that you are Brahman. So this kind of a knowledge, Ananya Prokte, when this knowledge is given by such Brahman teacher, okay, then the teacher, Ananya Prokta Ananyena Aprutak Darshina Acharyena Pratipadya Brahmatma Bhutena Prokte Ukte Atmani Gatihi. So when what happens is the Gati means our destination. What is my Gati? Okay, I think where would I reach? So that what is the Gati of my Atma? That is going to be given. Okay? By this teacher. What happens is here the word Gati has got four different meanings. Yet all four are given by Shankaracharya. One, he says, Anekatha asti nasti ityadi lakshana chinta gatihi atra asminnatmani nasti na vidyate sarva vikalpa gati pratyasthamita rupa atvadatmanaha. Okay, so here what happens is that Asti nasti iti ityadi lakshana chinta gatihi. Is there Atma there? Is there Atma not there? Those kind of questions are there, right? What happens is that all those are going to be dissolved. Why? Because the nature of Atma is in such a way that there is no scope for such thinking at all. It also means, this Gati also means a different meaning is there. Athava means also or, okay, that is Athava also means or. Swatmabhute ananyasmin atmani prokte ananya prokte gati atra anya gatir nasti nyayasya bhavat. When ananya prokta, that is when a Brahma Jnani teaches, what happens is that you reach Atman and Atman alone is there. There's nothing other than Atma. Where is the Gati? Question of Gati. Where is coming and going? Such a thing is not there because absolutely there is Brahman alone. Okay? And Jnanasya Hesha Paranishta Yadatmaika Vijnanam. So that means this can be understood only Paranishta. Okay? Yeah. Yat Yadatma, Yat Atma Ekatva Vijnanam. So this absolute oneness of self, when that is understood. Okay, the second way. So therefore, Ataha गन्तव्या भावन्न गतिरत्रावशिष्यते संसारगतिर्वात्र नास्ति अनन्य आत्मनि प्रोक्ते नान्तरीयकत्वात् तत् विज्ञानफलस्य मोक्षस्य. Because you reached a point in this Atma that there is no destination to be reached. There is no further movement. There is no samsara. Samsara dissolved. And okay, and hence realization happened. This is the second meaning. Now there is a third meaning also. Athava, or प्रोच्यमान ब्रह्मात्म भूतेन आचार्येण अनन्यतया प्रोक्ते आत्मनि अगतिः अनवबोधो अपरिज्ञानमत्र नास्ति. So now, when this ananya prokta, okay, when this Brahmajnani, when he teaches, okay, what happens is that you become one with the Brahman. So once you identify your true nature of Brahman, there's nothing other than Brahman. Where is the question of understanding anything? Where is the question of bandha or moksha? There are no questions. Bhavetya avagati stad vishaya shrotustadan ananyoham ityacharya seveti arthaha. So that means the comprehension about this Atma arises how ananyoham iti. Okay? Ananyoham iti. So I am not different from this. That means what? Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. That is already realized by the teacher, by the student, when it is taught by appropriate teacher. Evam savigneya atma agama agamavatacharyena ananyataya proktaha. So again, when it is taught by a teacher, agama vata. Okay, agama vata means one who is well versed in agama. Agamas means our Vedas, meaning our scriptures. So they have come from proper lineage. They are not like a, like a, they say that I went into Himalayas and I meditated and I realized on January 4th of 2024. Not that kind of a person, but who studied scriptures, who have gone through the process properly. So then, yeah, otherwise, what happens? Itaratha aniyarutaraha anupramanadapi sampadita atma. So if it is not, itaratha means if it is not taught in this way, this nature of atma is aniyarutaraha, because it is subtler than the subtlest thing that we can imagine. Okay? And because of that, there is no way you can understand that, because atarkyam, it is beyond our logic. Atarkya anupramano na tarkya swabuddhyabhyuhena kevalena tarkena. So only based on tarka, we cannot understand this. Okay? It cannot be understood by mere logic or by intellectual speculations. Therefore, तर्क्यमाणे परिमाणे केन चिन्ह चित्सा कृते आत्मने ततो अणुतर मनन्यो भ्यूहति ततोप्यन्यो अणुतरमिति. So here this Atma, because if you say Atma is size of atom. Okay? Now when we say atom, now we have subatomic particles. What are the subatomic particles? Electrons, protons, neutrons. Now we say that protons, neutrons are made up of quarks. Okay? Oh, so if because a lot of people who have scientific bent, they can think, Also the squark, the Atma is the squark. If you say that, tomorrow you may find something else smaller than that. Then, is that what it is? No, like that you get into unnecessary intellectual confusion. So, nahi tarkasya nishtha kvachit vidyate. So, there is no finality or ultimate conclusion you can ever find through this logic. This is what the Bhashyakara Shankaracharya says. So, I have gone through a lot of Bhashyam and I merely translated what is there. But remember, I mean, like the main thing is that there are 4 different meanings for this gati. Okay? What are those 4 meanings of gati? We are going to look in our next session. Okay? So we are going to continue this mantra in next session. Again, the importance of this mantra is the role of the teacher, primarily because of the quality of the knowledge, the scope of the knowledge that we are talking about. It is not fixed by merely as one part or the other part, because it is all encompassing, all pervading. Okay. In Kathopanishad, it is said, knowing which everything is known. This is the nature of that knowledge. So that because that is the nature of the knowledge, the teacher must be good, great teacher, and student must be a great student. And here in this Kathopanishad, what we are seeing is that Nachiketa is the greatest student, and he explicitly mentioned why he is asking Yama to teach, because Yama is death himself. Nobody knows when something goes into death, what happens next. But Yama, being death, knows what happens when death happens. Here, death again, it is not about the physical death. Physical death as in like Sthula Sharira, death of Sthula Sharira. But you're talking about the death of Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karna Sharira. So this is something that, because of that, the teacher is great, student is great. So the discussion between that teacher and that student is going to help us open up lot of our understanding significantly. So I'll pause here to see if you have any questions. If there are no questions, shall we conclude? पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thank you everyone. Have a